To be strong, you have to be bold, and you have to be brave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm too smart for them. Medical people in my drum. Thought they were social workers, fake police, nurses, midwives. Fraud by identity, human trafficking. I sat up and never slept 3 days straight. Typing, company's house. I know where you all are. This is different from 2, 3, 4 years ago. I'm too smart for you now. Breaking her leg. She's free, my angel. Judge can't even look at me. Her eyes bleed with wickedness. All of the calls and reports I have. Bearing in mind, she should have a foster carer. They don't exist. So much evidence under my belt from 5 years ago. Judges prospering, buying out contact centres, law firms.
The problem is, this place is full of closed-minded people, sleeping, lost sheep.
I walk with the most.
I'm here with Ocean's mum, and she's gone through quite a lot of stuff about her child Ocean being taken away by the system, basically, the social services. And you want to first just go through your story?
Yeah. So I was a mother who was robbed a right to be able to love her child, to be able to be given a chance to parent, to care, to nurture, to educate. I have been falsely accused. More than 50 fraudulent or false statements was used to abduct my child. I thought everything was kosher because there was a court and a body that's meant to mediate and be there for the best interest of the child and the public. Some things wasn't quite right or was very biased within my daughter's proceedings. I've researched and basically I can confirm that the judge who sat in court, there was 2 of them. Ocean was removed on the 1st by a Gordon Saker, who at the time owned Fenner's Chambers, which is a barrister's firm. That was her firm, and they was representing the local authorities who was there to remove the child. That is a breach of my human rights, Article 6, right to a fair trial. I've been racially discriminated against. I was told I couldn't be a mother to Ocean Lewis Muir due to my heritage and my ancestors and some of my family being Jamaican. I've never been to Jamaica in my life. My passport is a British passport. A heritage is no reason to remove a baby. There's no safety concerns. I'm here in desperation. It's a global problem. A lot of parents are losing children fraudulently to the courts. I'm not just here for Ocean. I'm here for any other child that has been targeted, any other mother that has been targeted due to illness, fabrication, lies. This is my baby Ocean. And what this flyer reads is, I was stolen from nursery without my mother's consent by a woman who used a false name and was held hostage. I didn't even get to say goodbye to my mummy. I am being used in a toxic, premeditated plan to save the courts from data breaches and negligence by racial discrimination and fraud. My mother was told she cannot be a parent due to her heritage. There's a petition link here. I'm urging and asking people to sign. My daughter does not have a legit foster carer. I've been lied to and told that a lady called Donna is Ocean's foster carer. I can confirm there is no such thing as a foster carer called Donna, and that my daughter's social worker Trish Tozawana of Cambridge / Huntingdon used 2 names. She is registered on Company's House with a name called Alice, with her own medical practice. This is my daughter's neck. 29 stitches. Within this circle contains my initials, PLM. These have been sewn into my child. My child is 3 years old, an innocent baby. A bit of her journey and injuries, what she's experienced since being fraudulently removed, with fabricated and false medical documents and false statements and allegations. I am 3 years old. Police have failed to investigate due to conspiracy and neglect, human trafficking, modern slavery, sexual exploitation, and domestic abuse. Ocean was starved in October 2020 until February because this was one of the false allegations they put on the mother. So when they took her to let the child drop weight, like it was my fault, they starved her. She's had leg injuries that I discovered. She had 5 scars to the leg, December the 22nd, 2020. I still have no answers to where these scars have come from. The solicitor that corruptly worked with them and gave me poor legal advice, Michael Gentilella, SBS Solicitors, emailed the local authority to find out what injuries and why the child had sustained certain injuries. I was ignored, he was ignored. February 2021, I arrived to an unregistered contact centre that has been closed since 2008 and is now being used for private adoptions, that is not registered under a company or cannot be found under anybody. The child has sustained head injuries, a big lump and bruise, March 2021. She sustained face and an eye injury in August, which I was told was due to a cat attacking Ocean. I've heard of some parents being in court and they are refused and not allowed to be parents due to them having pets such as cats, because what the social workers are using as an excuse is bronchitis on the chest. Why was Ocean around a cat for her face to be scratched and scarred and swollen? What is very concerning about these 29 stitches was I have an email from an alleged social worker I've never met, I've just spoken to electronically, who states no GP attention was sought or no medical advice. So who has stitched 29 stitches into baby Ocean? I've reported this to the police. February 2022, police came to visit my home after me writing a very serious complaint in the morning time and calling to report again since the November 2021 when the child was harmed, and other police forces have told Cambridgeshire police to go and look for the child. They have confirmed February 2022. They don't know where my child is. They don't know how she sustained the injuries, but nobody has gone to look for her. This is being kept swept and buried under a carpet because police are accessory to crimes. They have wrote fraudulent reports to get my child removed, and now I've found out the child is not in a legit placement. She's not with the people who I believed she was with, that are using 2 names, 2 identities, abusing position of process and power to take for their own financial and business gains. Our children are being harmed psychologically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, physically, for money, for finance. This needs to stop. We need to come together. These systems and these bodies need to start safeguarding people from the public and not themselves. This world is not going to get better. Justice will be done. It takes time. I'm a strong believer of faith. I was nearly murdered outside my home by 2 police officers on the 7th of April who came to do a welfare check regarding my welfare and emotions to do with the situation of Ocean. They did not help me, but rather suffocate me on the street. One of the officer's colleagues had to rip this officer off of me because I was screaming on the floor. I could not breathe while they held me down. They then took me to a hospital, restrained me, blocked off a door, sealed it with paper so nobody could see the abuse, what was being done to me inside this room. I've been wiped off NHS systems. There's no such name as me coming up, no such NHS number coming up. It's like me and my child have been wiped and erased off of a system. My name has unlawfully been changed without my consent or knowledge. So much has happened, a lot has happened. I will be given certain documents to back up my speech. I speak with evidence. I don't speak lies. I don't speak conspiracy. This is a fact. We cannot ignore the things that are in our faces. We cannot ignore the things that are in our faces. Police told me I was seeing this due to the fabricated mental illness they have given me to cover something they seriously, severely done to me to affect my life in custody in 2017.
And so, could you tell me what kind of things they did when they attacked you? Why exactly did they do that? And,
to silence me because I know too much, and because, like I'm saying, they've changed. I've got, for example, I access medical records, then I access them again a few months later. I access them again a few months later. I access them again a few months later. And I can tell you, a lot of stuff in my records has changed. There's been things added to these records. So I feel like it's more an attempt to shut me up because I know too much. It's to protect certain people that are higher up. The judge who owns the law firm Fenner's Chambers, her husband Andrew Gordon Saker is a senior cost advisor at the High Court. I had a court appeal which did not even have a stamp, no seal, no signature. They've been abusing courts, families are being silenced. Electronic process, that is no way to run a court hearing, especially when we are arguing about children's lives. That is no way to conduct a court case. It was unfair, it was unbiased, they was hidden and they was protected. I've not been given any transcripts, which is a member of the public can apply for a transcript. I've been refused every single transcript. I've been refused certain data now by the police.
So they're trying to make it
difficult for me to be able to have even a leg to stand on to be able to defend myself. I was not allowed to submit evidence into my own child's court case.
Really?
If that is not corruption, what is that? So they've said everything about me, but I wasn't allowed to put the stuff in, and the odd document they enabled me to put in was scanned black, so you couldn't see the information, what was there anyway.
Something definitely going on, right?
A lot's been going on.
Yeah.
A lot has been going on. When I'm attacked, police pull me to the floor by my hair. They almost broke my hand on the 7th of April. I was screaming in pain. They shed no mercy. This officer was about 6'4", 6'5". I wasn't resisting anything. They're just putting on these uniforms and using these badges to feel powerful. They are the real criminals.
Feels like they're a part of what's going on.
Definitely. People are complaining, and for example, statistics, Bedfordshire in the year 2020, 2021, I don't know off the top of my head, I was just researching it this morning. Their complaints and the complaints that have been done, less than 1% of them have been upheld.
Yeah.
Less than 1% of their complaints have been upheld. But even when you're complaining, they're not being answered open and honestly. It's like complaints are like a gathering of information process for them to then twist more, manipulate more, perjurize more. There's nothing what parents can do. We're doing everything that's being asked of us. Some of us, like I'm saying, are here. My problem started because I wrote a complaint that was very hefty and hit human rights. I had other people's names and data in my family court proceedings. That should be something you think a parent has right to moan about. No.
And they say they're taking kids away from potential danger, but
I've never harmed my baby.
no, but I'm saying
Potential danger, and then this is what's happening when the kids are in their care.
they end up in
Worse
worse
estates.
positions.
Most of them running away because they don't want to be in the situations they're in. We've got a lot of teenagers out on the streets that are running away from care systems.
Yeah.
A lot of them carrying knives because they're scared to the homes they've got to go back to, and the things they're having to fight. People coming in their rooms at night time and abusing them.
Yeah,
Who's there for these children?
they are there. But for all these parents who are fighting for their children,
Silenced. A lot of people cannot even
a bad
speak.
parent wouldn't be doing that.
Exactly.
You know,
A kid that is at harm from a home would not run away to that home.
exactly.
They wouldn't. They just wouldn't.
Just doesn't make sense, you know. What I think is it's a big way for them to get money.
Of course it is.
And,
A lot of these social workers are using companies. Well, if you check Companies House, which they're now trying to close because a lot of parents like me are now surfacing, we're exposing things that are not right. Yes, it's not illegal to have a business, but it is illegal to fraudulently write a statement to get a child removed so it can go into your business and use your service and you'll prosper in that way. Trafficking, to write a fraudulent statement to have somebody removed from a certain place or setting. You go and look up, their own laws say it. You go and look up on Google, it tells you what human trafficking is. Why are they allowed to traffic using a badge? That's organised crime.
Yeah, organised.
It's organised crime. It's premeditated crime. 25 years alone for perverting the cause of justice.
And it's not just something small, they're taking someone's car away.
This
they're
is humans.
breaking families apart. And
They've took my car from me, fraudulent statements to stop me from getting to certain places or being able to have support networks. They've said I can't sign up to a doctor's. So if I really needed the support, because this is what they've took it away from me.
You can't get medical
Because
help.
they realised they're the ones that have made me ill through stress, through anxiety, having people sitting outside my home 1:30 in the night, people banging on my window erratically.
Surely that should be doing human rights.
Harassment. I have a right to privacy. I have a right to privacy. My gynecology records was breached in court. Everywhere you look in my court papers, it says I wasn't happy for these documents to be disclosed. They've been disclosed. I fled from a perpetrator. My details have been breached on more than one occasion. These are the things they're doing, and they're saying parents cannot safeguard. Nobody's holding them accountable when they can't safeguard. Family court proceedings are meant to be 26 weeks. Mine was 14 months. I was never given a reason why. The only reason I was given at the beginning was, sorry, the case got lost and everybody went AWOL.
Really?
It took them 3 months to plan something because they realised they had no threshold. No threshold. But the allegations get worse. You prove there's no threshold, and rather than them doing the right thing, they keep coming at you, attacking you. It's so sad. It's so sad what they're doing. Breaking families,
Yeah.
breaking homes.
I mean, if something happened to your child, like that would devastate a person, right?
Yeah.
So if they're basically taking the child away and putting it somewhere where they're not going to tell you their location, you won't be able to see the child, like that's literally the same thing, isn't it? Like,
Contact people, parents have contact orders. You cannot stop a parent without a court order from having no contact with their child. I've lost 12 months contact overall with my daughter. My daughter has not been seen since November when I discovered this injury which they tried to hide with a roll neck jumper.
Yeah.
They tried to hide that with a roll neck jumper.
Well,
You
I
can
thought
see
that
it, look.
nobody would see it.
They've tried to hide it with a roll neck jumper, and the child
It's clearly
moved.
visible, like, you know.
29
they've done
stitches,
something.
no medical profession, no GP. And I'm just being ignored by Cambridgeshire Local Authority. I've been ignored by police forces. I've had an MP state to Cambridgeshire Police they need to go and look for the child and open up a criminal investigation.
Yeah.
Somehow they just won't, because they are accessory. They've had to uphold. They wrote fraudulent statements to have the child removed, so it makes them an accessory now to whatever other crime has happened after that. Yeah. Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah, I know. It's just I know a lot of people who are, you know, who've gone through the system and you know they've had really bad things happen to them. And
There's no one.
like,
And then they're adults and they've got certain traumas, or they've got mental health, but they're being labelled that they're a bad person for being in this position when it's the system what's done it to them.
yeah,
System was
exactly.
never broken, it was built to be broken. It was built to be broken. The system's not there to be broken or to suppress the people or oppress the people. It's meant to fix its nation, you know?
Yeah.
Bring people together, keep families strong. Communities, why have all these youth clubs shut? But they're strip searching young boys on the just pulling young boys over on the streets, taking them into cells and strip searching them for what? There's no facilities for families anymore. It's all their facilities, what they need for them to prosper financially. It's not right. This isn't making a dodgy bet on a horse and guessing the odds. This is lives, this is human, this is trafficking.
Yeah.
This is
Human
trafficking.
going on.
And there's trafficking happening not also to these children.
Yeah.
There's certain social workers that are genuinely honest in workplaces that are scared, or they're being bribed to do certain things because they're honest.
Yeah, I think somebody said before that they get a certain amount of money for each child that they put in the care system.
Yes, why is there incentive not
Yes,
getting
sir.
money for keeping children at home? Why is that not an incentive? Why is there not an incentive that the mother is struggling? Let's open up more mother and baby units, propose to foster care homes, adoption homes, where kids are then being transferred around and then being branded and labelled as they've had and lived a chaotic transient lifestyle. This is something else. It doesn't make sense to me. There's a system there, but when they're older and they're having kids, their kids are being removed because that parent's being told it was raised in a chaotic upbringing. If local authorities are there to make families better, and this is the reason for them generally removing children, why is that then being used as an excuse? Their lifestyle should not be chaotic. They should have had the best upbringing with love, with whatever they are accusing and saying the parents could not give to these children.
Exactly, yeah. But they don't want to do it like that, apparently, no.
No, because then you're finding out that judges have their own refuges, judges have their own law firms, judges have their own contact centres. So it's people that are using a position and a badge to sit somewhere. They're not going to be noticed or branded the criminals that they actually are. And it's not right.
And you know, like say a few years ago, I don't know what year I want to say, maybe the 70s, or you know, just like before, like you wouldn't hear about anybody. It would be rare to hear about someone being in care. You know?
And now it's such a big thing.
nowadays,
It's a big thing nowadays. It's like it's
yeah.
trend. Like I'm saying, why are they not, if they're really for families to make them better, why are they not having incentives where they're getting paid commission or bonuses for keeping families together, for keeping children in the homes?
Yeah, that would be much more productive and helpful.
Thank
for
you.
families.
Or how about they actually start making the correct referrals? For example, if a parent's struggling with mental health, why is it going all the way through court and not one social worker or one agency has even made a referral to a mental health department?
Yeah, that's
Why?
what I'd say it's, you know, like they should be doing, but no, they just want to straight away take the child away from the parent.
And this is the thing, we're not going to court and they're saying, we would like to work on a plan to keep the child. Their first and initial, and their stance does never change, is always removal. It's always removal. Always removal.
Did you have any, did like meet any of the social workers, and what was your experience like?
My experience, I actually started off working with Bedford Social Services, where I used to live. I wrote a complaint, and they abused process by taking me into court and saying, because you have a complaint open, we can't look at, sorry, because you're in court now, we can't look at your complaint. They fobbed me off for the best part of a year and a half, like I'm saying, to fraudulently answer. For example, the person who reviewed my complaint was supposed to be independent. It states on her own LinkedIn that she's actually not, and she actually works for the borough.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of biased things they're doing. The person who looked into my complaint was supposed to be independent, and on her own LinkedIn states she works for the borough, so that's not an independent person.
There's so many things like just going on that just, you know,
People are being ignored. People are protesting outside Luton because their complaints are not being heard.
Yeah.
And you can't take somebody's child, they're calling a phone that's meant to be an office phone, and there's been no answer for a year.
No.
I've been trying to retrieve my daughter's birth certificate since September 2021. Nothing. I've run the General Registry Office, the phone has rung out and never been answered.
No.
Never. And they think this is an option. What needs to start happening is they need to start facing more penalty fines. The penalty fines don't need to be out in the streets. If your complaint is not answered within a statutory time period or time scale of 2 weeks, fine. If you've not done right by your child, it's gone into care, and it still has no doctor within 3 months due to its social worker going on annual leave, and you finding out then that the child's social worker is not a social worker and she's been using 2 names, fine and jail. Court proceedings exceed 26 weeks, case thrown out, fines. Things are not to go in our favour, they're to go in their favours. Everything's around them. The focus is not for the best interest of the child. We're being told to be silenced, to protect the crimes what they're committing, and the ways that we're being discriminated in family courts.
And is there anything else you want to say? Or
I feel like I cannot add any more right now. Like I said, I'm here to campaign for Ocean. I'm not going to stop until Ocean's home. I'm not going to. It's just not within my nature. I know I've done nothing wrong as a parent other than try to give my baby the best home and stability which she deserved. For example, I've been told I was sectioned on a psychiatric ward with Ocean. Why do I have pictures of their midwife in my house a day after me and Ocean was released from hospital, so she's a day old? Why? If you was not against and you're not for taking children, why are you doing things before we're even in courts? Secret court hearings. I had an appeal refused by Lady Macca based on no merits, but she's apologised. We're sorry that we've had court hearings, or court hearings was heard in secret. How is that a right to a fair trial?
That isn't fair trial, no.
How can a judge place an order on a parent and they do not know about it?
No.
How can a child be on an order, it not allowed to leave the country, its passport refused by the passport agency because social services have contacted them 4 months prior to a mother being in court? How?
That's why I say this whole thing is,
There's nothing more I feel like I can add to the situation. I'm here for Ocean, not just Ocean. I'm here for every other parent that has been, in the same position as me. But as you can see, my cause, I need to get my daughter home as soon as possible because she's not with legit people. She does not have a foster carer, and her injuries have got more severe and severe every single time. So I just need people to support me, really know that this is serious.
Yeah.
The system's not there to help us, it's there to break us, it's there to profit from us. We are all targets. This can happen to the man behind you, the man over there, the lady. It can happen to anybody, and it is happening to anybody. I thought it was a race issue because of the racist things that was said to me Judge threatened to rip out my hair in court, ignored. Police didn't think it was a crime, even though that is a threat of abuse / assault.
Judge did that?
Yeah, Judge Davies. She was the director of the law firm she was the director of Fenner's Chambers, which was owned by her other partner, who took my daughter, Gordon Saker. How much more bias can a court case get, guys? How much more? So yeah, I'm still in this fight. I'm staying in this fight because I truly believe sometimes it takes something negative to happen for a real positive change or shift. I know we've all been uprooting for this for the longest, but I think a lot more people are getting louder now, and I think a lot more people are awake to certain things. I advise people to check their data work, access every single record that they can, record everything you can, even when you're not allowed to, because at times it saved me. Yeah, you're allowed to. If you need to get evidence, this is the only time you're allowed to record court is if you feel you're going to need it for evidence at a later date, or if you. So, don't let them scare you with their orders. And what you also need to remember is, once an order's made, you've got up to 3 months to appeal that order. Yeah. You've got up to 3 months to appeal it. So, do your research, read the laws. Read what criteria and why your child's on certain things. They tell you not to, speak to other parents. Speak to other parents, because if you're not educated, and this is what they want a blind society where they can continue to abuse in silence and nothing.
Do what they want.
Pandemic, for example, look at them having parties while elderly people was stopped from seeing their family for 2 years.
Exactly, yeah.
And we've got the people that are role models who we're supposed to look up to, having parties, mocking us.
It's like they're just sitting up in their parties, just laughing down at us.
Exactly.
Just taking a mickey out of everyone, right?
Exactly. But these are meant to be our, public figures and the people that protect us and are for this country. Yeah. What was the last thing they've done for this country? 'Cause I really can't see it. We're now getting more police on the streets. Is it for their protection or for our own protection? Wow. Constables being able now and given permission, they could taser people and carry tasers.
You know how people are, starting to, be much more aware about things that are happening.
Police.
I think they're a bit worried about,
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Police are only getting 16 to 20 weeks training now to become police. They're not even going to college no more.
Really?
And the mental health training they get only covers 2 to 3 days. It only covers 2 to 3 days. Now, when you think of all of the mental health cases that are rising, why do they not have police officers that, maybe they was NHS nurses or psychiatrists that have now gone into a different field? Why are they not having, there should be there should be one officer that is there, to oversee the law. There should be one always that is in case that person has got mental health.
Yeah, mental health is quite a complex thing.
Exactly, it's quite a big thing. You'd think that they strengthen this area. They don't. 2 to 3 days is not adequate training, and I'm sorry, neither is 16 to 20 weeks.
No.
And I don't think it's right also that when families are now going into court, they're using magistrates. An ordinary volunteer off the street is making judgments in family courts. Family courts are not just removal of children, they're domestic violence cases. Some women need non-molestation orders. A magistrate, I'm sorry, that's somebody with no legal training. It's not good, guys. And that's what I'm saying, unless you check certain things, how would you know? You wouldn't know, because we're meant to trust them that they're doing right by us. So yeah, thank you for having me today.
Thank you for telling us your story.
Thank you so much. Facebook, I'm contactable on Facebook. O Lewis Muir. My account is O Lewis Muir. O Lewis Muir. So that's O Lewis LEWIS hyphen mother uniform indigo Romeo. I'm contactable on that channel. The petition link is here.
Right.
HTTPS /C-H-N-G.it/J/Q4FXGWX. I think it also comes up under Free Baby Ocean Abducted and Tortured.
Okay.
But it's findable on change.org.
Hopefully you can get people to sign that.
Yeah, because it is important. And like I said, I don't just want to change the situation, what's happened with my child. You know,
It could happen to anyone.
it could happen to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I was a parent desperately seeking help and support. And I've ended up shedding light to a lot of parents on situations that are being masked or hidden. I've gone away, I've done my training in domestic violence, mental health diploma I've got now, which I continue to work on. Medical cannabis I'm trained in now. How to parent with mental health I'm trained in now. So I'm trying to get a more of an advocacy support thing going, which is just to support parents, because I don't feel there's enough support for us. We're going to certain places, doors are being shut in our faces. For some of us, we're being told we can't even register to GPs anymore, which totally is against any human right. I had a lump in my head a few weeks ago, which really worried me, and I was scared, and I had nowhere to turn to.
Yeah, you should be able to go down there and just get them checked.
Exactly, I can't even. So, yeah, thank you for having me, everybody.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much, thank
Hopefully
you.
There'll be more soon.
More soon, definitely. I'm trying to get a few music videos going, trying to write a few books to educate people. But yeah, I'm just looking really for the support, people behind me, and for people to wake up and realise that this is real and it can happen to anybody. So thank you so much.